Hi everyone, so this is a really quick tutorial on how to make homemade yogurt. This is the yogurt that's ready. I use a Corelle bowl. This bowl holds about 2.5 cups of milk. I usually use 2 cups and I heat it up in the microwave. Get it to just a boil, like just under a boil. Um, I have a really small microwave, so it takes me about 5 minutes and 55 seconds to get to a full boil. And then once you get it to a boil, you cool it off a little bit until it's about room temperature. Heat it up again. Because it's not completely, I'm going to heat it up for another 40 seconds. While that's heating up, let me just show you the finished. So when you boil it, just cover it with like a splatter guard so nothing falls into it. Let it cool down. It'll have this little film of cream on top. You can take that out. You can leave it in if you want to, but if you want a really nice smooth texture, you could take off the film that comes up. This is what the finished yogurt will look like, and that's also what you would use as your starter for the other yogurt. Okay, so I'm just going to get this out. So bring it to a boil, cool it down till it's about room temperature, and then heat it up again to about just where it's nice and warm. Like you could use, I don't use temperatures, just the back of a finger where it's nice and warm, but not super hot. What you do next is, if there's any film left, you could take that off. I just took it off earlier, so I'm good there. You take your starter. You need about, this is like just a little bit bigger than a tablespoon, so about a couple of tablespoons. And then just kind of, because it's nice and thick. You can make this with both 2% or whole milk. That's completely your choice. I'm just going to get a little bit of that whey in there, a little liquid, and then just pour that into your yogurt. Get a little bit of milk out of here. Mix it up nice and well. It's a little difficult doing this with one hand, but basically get all that stuff in there. And then stir it really nicely. Mix it up really well. And you could cover it up and keep it, sorry, this one is the good one. Cover it up and keep it in a nice warm place. What I like to do is I like to cover it up with a couple of fleece blankets. This is my old microwave. Find a spot, there'll always be a spot in your home that's warm, somewhere where it's not going to be disturbed. So this is my setup mostly for the winter, but I use it pretty much all through the year. I have a little fleece blanket, and this is my old microwave that I don't use so much anymore. But I put my yogurt in there and then I cover it up with another blanket. So it'll go right in there. It's a little comfy, cozy spot. Covered it up. And I'm closed. Good. So that's it. That's pretty much all you do. And then I'm going to leave it in there for about 6 hours. I tend to make this at night, so I will leave it overnight and then take it out in the morning. So about 8 or 9 hours until it's nice and firm. When you take the yogurt out of, when you take it out and it's ready, it won't be jiggly. But you have to put it in the fridge for about at least 2 to 3 hours and until it's nice and firm and the texture is really good. A couple of things. If you put the starter to the milk, if it's really hot, it'll still set, but it'll be a little bit sour. If you're looking for, like if you want to use it in a curry or as a marinade, or a recipe calls for sour yogurt, then you would add your starter to the milk when it's fairly warm, like not boiling hot, but like quite warm to the touch. because you don't want it to curdle, you want it to ferment and set. So I will use this in a recipe to show you guys how you can grill chicken without any oil or butter, or like pan sear it rather, and it would be cooked only in the yogurt marinade. That it really helps cut the calories on it too. So I will bring that video to you when I'm ready to grill some more chicken, and I will, if you have any questions, let me know. So again, just to recap, I do this in batches of 2 cups at a time. If I need more, like if I'm going to have company, I'm going to be using it as marinade, or I know that I need more for a smoothie and stuff, I will do 2 batches of this. That's just the way it works for me. I have tried it in bigger bowls. It takes longer to set. Sometimes it doesn't set quite right. So this is my setup. Like I do it in 2 cups at a time. I do 2 bowls or maybe 4 bowls depending on how much I need. So 2 cups at a time, bring it to a boil, almost a boil. You can do it on the stove. I like to do it in the microwave. That way it shuts off on its own when it's done with no spilling. Bring it down to room temperature, and while it's cooling, just cover it with a splatter guard so nothing gets into it. You'll have a film. Once it cools, take the film off, warm it up again till it's just nice and warm to touch but not super hot, and then you would add the starter. To a 2-cup bowl, you would add a couple of tablespoons of starter and cover it up. It shouldn't be like, there should be some room for air to get in and out, but you're going to be covering it anyway, but not like an airtight. You could try it in a Pyrex bowl. I have tried it in that. I just find the lid shuts like really tight, so sometimes the moisture doesn't evaporate the way it needs to. Cover it up with a fleece blanket and Bob's your uncle. Keep it in for 4 to 6 hours. During summer, during winter, I definitely let it be in there for at least 8 hours. Put it in the refrigerator to set for another couple, and you have your homemade yogurt.